Hello, hello. Every year on my birthday, I record a video reflecting on the past year, and today, on this year, is no different. And you can see I got some balloons here, which is awesome, and I had a great birthday. I had a little party, which was fun. I had family. I'm doing some stuff tonight with the fam, going for dinner and stuff. Appreciate all the wishes, so thank you. But every year I do record this video so that I can reflect on the past year and maybe impart some wisdom of what I've learned over this last year. And I think turning 40 last year was an interesting one because, it's really like I'm not young anymore. Well, I mean, by relative standards, you're not young anymore. I guess how you feel is really how old you are. But it kind of hit me pretty hard being like, okay, I'm 40 now, so now what, right? And it took me the entire year to really kind of reflect and accept that and get me out of kind of a bit of a funk. And then I kind of took a step back and thought, why am I in this funk? I have all of this opportunity and everything that I've worked so hard for right in front of me. And, I should embrace that and I should own that. And I think part of it is when you grow up as an underdog and with kind of relatively no money and kind of no opportunities, you have to create your own opportunities and you go into survival mode and you have to have paranoia and urgency to get you to rise above, and you have to listen to that inner voice and that vision and do things that are uncomfortable. And so I've been doing that for the last 20 years and I'm thankful for where I am in life, but I'm realizing that you can't hide anymore. I can't hide from kind of who I've become, which is not survival mode Riaz and underdog Riaz anymore. It's something different, and I have to learn how to win. And you might be watching this thinking, well, that's a very nice and convenient problem to have, but it is, and it comes with its own set of challenges, right? And so this past year was really reflecting on this new world and this new life, and who I've become, and embracing that and learning to kind of get rid of the demons that come when you're, in victim mentality and underdog and in survival mode and in constant urgency and paranoia and panic, right? It's like, that stuff that fuels you to get here. And it's like, now I'm here. It's like, what's going to fuel me to get to the next level, right? And so I think I had a really good chat with a mentor this week, and we aligned on the fact that the real big secret to success is really momentum. It comes down to momentum. And it's very hard to gain momentum, and it's very easy to lose momentum. And this applies in everything in life. So what I want to share with you today are a few notes that I took in terms of my reflections of the last year. And, it may apply, it may not, but this is where I am. This is 40, turning 41. So building momentum is the real secret to any form of success, whether it's physical, mental, business, family. You have to show up every single day. And the only way to build momentum is through consistency. So I'm very much focused on momentum and consistency because I find that, yes, even though things have gone well, when things start to dip, it's because I'm not showing up to the gym anymore, or I'm not bringing my A game to that meeting, or I'm not responding appropriately to certain things, or I'm not taking that additional chance, or right? So consistency and momentum is the first thing I want to talk about, right? When I first started in my business, I started by, I'm reading a little bit here, dreaming and having a vision about what my life could become. And it took a lot of help along the way to make that dream a reality. And while I'm thankful for that help, especially from mentors and coaches and family, over the last year, I over-relied on the opinions of others. And this is a trap, right? Because if you over-rely on the opinions of others, then you're constantly seeking the validation of others. But their bar might be here, and your vision may be up here. So that's a problem. That's a big problem, because if you're validating and over relying on the opinions of others that are here, but your vision's up here, then you're never going to get past it. And so while getting opinions and coaching is super important, I wouldn't be where I am without that. Now I'm realizing that I have to lean into my vision again, right? I broke my ankle earlier this year, as some of you know and have mentioned to me along the way, right? And when you slip and fall and you look up at the stars in the sky and you're like in pain, but then you can't move for 6 weeks, you can't climb stairs, I couldn't even shower myself. You start to realize what's important. And I think seeking the validation of others, yes, it's sometimes necessary, the opinions, not validation, but opinions, but leaning into your own vision, nothing can replace that. Because if you don't lean into your own vision, no one knows what your dreams are, right? You know, that little voice in your head knows, okay, I really want to make this big thing happen. And you're not going to do that because you're not going to do that if you're over relying on validating it through others, right? So what I'm suggesting here is believe in that voice, stay humble, but also realize when you're going the wrong way and maybe when you're wrong about kind of how you get to your vision, right? Both of these are necessary, the opinions of others and leaning into your vision, to keep you grounded and to help you find blind spots while also relying on your intuition and vision to create what others can't see. It's your vision. I can't see your vision. You can't see my vision, right? In terms of what I envision for my life, right? So if you're thinking big, but you're surrounded by small thinking people, you're not going to get anywhere, right? So others will never see your vision for yourself because it's yours for a reason, okay? Second thing I want to talk about is that I have been a bit of a people pleaser over the years, right? And what happens is when you become a people pleaser, you compromise your own ethics and principles in order to appease others because you want to be popular and you want to, build the relationship over building your integrity and dignity. And so it's important to find the balance. You want to find the balance because you want to have relations and you don't want to be, too brash or harsh, but you also don't want to compromise your own ethics and principles in order to make that happen. And so my goal really with this new year is to have a voice and be okay with not people pleasing, right? And if you're still watching this, you may be like, what does that mean? Well, having an opinion that I'm open to disagreeing with others, right? That I'm open to challenging others, challenging myself and being challenged, right? So that leads to my third piece, which is that I dream of a world where discourse and debate are embraced and polarization and divisiveness is ostracized. Now, this past year, we had a US election, we had a Canadian election. Our news feeds were out of control, right? And I think that there's good and bad in everyone, right? And so what happens is that media and social media is designed to keep you plugged in. And what happens is that it reinforces our confirmation bias to validate your view. And so, you can hate Trudeau or Trump or Carney or Polyev or whoever, right? But you'll find people that agree with you and you'll find people that disagree with you. And that's confirmation bias. And once you get into that echo chamber, your belief is going to be validated over and over and over again, and you will stop seeing what else is out there. And so what my goal is to avoid social media sound bites, Reddit, TikTok. Not that I'm not going to use them. I'm going to use them, but I'm not going to use them to shape my worldview. And I suggest you also do the same, right? Read a book. Have discourse. Disagree. I had a great, I went on to BC and had some great discourse with some friends over we had completely different opinions on the same topic, right? And we had a healthy debate where we appreciated and respected each other's opinions. And that just doesn't happen as much anymore. So I would ask that you be open-minded to others and be okay with disagreeing with others and also being disagreed with, and read books that you disagree with. Because, there are certain things that you'll pick up along the way that you agree with and that you disagree with. So for me, my views have changed drastically over the last few years. And at first I felt that others were judging me, but now I have seen people saying, you kind of had a point with that topic, or you kind of, maybe I still disagree with you, but I see your point of view, right? So I think as a world, we need to be a little bit more open in terms of what is out there. Question the status quo, question the lies that serve you. And I think democracy is at risk. And democracy, we need to find that again. And the way to do that is to embrace the opinions of others, even when we don't agree with them. Okay? So, I know I said a lot there, as we're at 10 minutes here, but this is not a clickbaity type of like hook, type video. This is just me reflecting on this. And if you're still watching, I appreciate it. But this is it, own, lean into yourself, embrace yourself, still, get the opinions of others and experts, people that have a bigger vision maybe, or are further along in their journey than you, embrace their advice, right? And don't let your vision get smaller because you might be validating your opinion with small thinking people, right? And then finally, I'll just say, use your social media sparingly. Use your media sparingly. Learn to read books. Debate and discourse with others without judging them, right? And the world will be a better place if we all do that a little bit more. So I'm going to try and do that. I'm going to have an opinion, and I'm also going to be open to the opinions of others so that my worldview is rounded and shaped by a diverse array of opinions that I may agree with or disagree with too. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon.